Thank you for the kind introduction. Selamat siang. Good afternoon. My name is Hiroshi Takahashi of Global Environmental Center Foundation, or GEC. I'd like to express my gratitude for this opportunity and extend a warm welcome to all the participants here today. As an implementing organization for a financing program of JCM model project, we make effort to complete each project to start their operation and contribute to the pressing issue of global warming. I'm willing to talk about outline of the model project and refer some key project and trend of the model project. I hope my presentation will be helpful for all of you having interest in the JCM. So let me share my screen. So just a moment, please. Okay. So this is agenda of my presentation for today. I welcome your comment or question. I will answer afterward. Then I'll start from JCM model project overview. JCM model project started in 2013. Indonesia signed bilateral cooperation for a low carbon partnership between Japan and joined the JCM on 26 August in the year. Then the model project have been stacking up every year in Indonesia. This world map shows all the projects supported by JCM financing program. ADB is a Japan fund for JCM. So, or we call it JFJCM. It provides the financial incentives for the adoption of advanced decarbonizing technologies, which are superior in greenhouse gas emission reduction. JFJCM or ADB count 5 projects worldwide now. F-gas is a project of freon gas, which is one of a popular greenhouse gas. The activity or this project is distracting freon gas from used equipment and will never release it into air not to harm environment. This count 4 projects and 2 lead plus project. The JCM model project, which reduce greenhouse gas emission by utilizing leading decarbonizing technology in partner countries, count 203. So till now, total 214 projects have been introduced all over the world by JCM financing program supported by Ministry of Environment Japan. From the beginning of the opening year of 2013, JCM model project has been stacking up the number of projects every year. This figure gives you overview of the number of projects from back to front is by year, and horizontally, partner countries are in line. This includes the first selection of this year, which will pile up more toward end of the year. Indonesia has been constantly adding the number of selection after joining the JCM, which shows close relationship between Indonesia and Japan. Okay, this slide is already explained by Mr. Kudo of MOEJ, so I will skip this. There are partner countries which Japan has established the JCM bilateral agreement. So far, 17 countries have joined or signed the JCM agreement, and the Japanese government hope to add more countries as JCM partner countries. This shows the scheme of financing program for the JCM model project. We GEC is an implementing organization who undertakes the administrative work for the JCM model project. Selected project will be able to receive financial support on the facilities or equipment with advanced technology, decarbonizing technology, or the reduction of greenhouse gas emission. The point of this scheme is to utilize finance for advanced technology and products. The finance is to be used for equipment or facility which is not yet popular in the country due to being costly, even though it has a great capacity or capability or performance to reduce emission gas effectively. This left part of this figure shows conventional system, usually focusing on minimizing initial cost and doesn't care much for greenhouse gas emission reduction. On the other hand, on the right part, JCM model project focuses on introduction of the system that contribute to the reduction of greenhouse gas emission. It finances initial cost of equipment to be competitive with referenced conventional system. So using this scheme, they can introduce system both cost advantageous and eco-friendly. The emission reduction you made will be monitored, reported, and validated and issued as credit, which will be shared between Indonesia and Japan. This shows the development step of JCM model project. When developing a project, what you do first is to find a Japanese partner to cooperate with. The next presentation of JCM Global Match will be helpful for the matchmaking. Proposals can be submitted by the Japanese partner. GEC assess and evaluate each proposals and select project with MOEJ. Then they proceed to contract of finance and they are able to start their project. This is the timeline of the model project for this fiscal year starting in April. We will accept proposals till end of November. We are receiving many excellent proposals. On July 1st, we could announce the result of the first selection for 16 projects. Each selected project is going through the administrative process for finalizing contract of finance. We also announced the deadline for the second selection on this Friday, July 29th, end of this week. 17 partner countries have priority, and we accept proposals for the Indo-Pacific region and African countries in parallel with the bilateral negotiations. This is the outline of JCM model project for this year. Budget is 17.1 billion yen, or about 132 million US dollar for 3 years. The maximum amount of financial support per project is 2 billion Japanese yen, or about 1.5 million US dollar. I will touch upon international consortium by next slide. Scope of financing is for facilities, equipment, which reduce carbon dioxide from fossil fuel combustion, and related construction cost. The selected process starts from the date of notice of contract of financial support. Please be noted that any contract or purchase order must be conducted after the contract of finance, and they need to finish installation within 3 years. About maximum percentage of support and cost effectiveness I will refer a bit later. This figure shows a typical form of international consortium. A representative participant has to be a Japanese entity, and at least one partner participant will be partner country's entity. Project participants are responsible for the project totally. Partner participants must own and use equipment introduced by the model project. This is because those equipment need to be properly operated and maintained for greenhouse gas emission reduction activity throughout the period of credit issue. Then, what kind of projects are supported by the JCM financing program? It is described in guideline for submitting proposals, and please refer it in details. Some key points are as follows. Project must reduce energy-related carbon dioxide emission with leading decarbonizing technologies. Project contribute to realization of SDGs in partner countries and comply with relevant laws and requirements for the regulation and international practice should be followed. Achieved reduction of greenhouse gas emission must be measured and quantitatively calculated and verified for issuing JCM credit. Projects need to reduce emission of greenhouse gas and must include reduction of energy-related carbon dioxide emissions. For instance, a project that reduces only methane or SH6, PFC, HFC, N2O is not adequate as a model project. This figure shows that methane is burned and disappears. However, at this point, it is not good enough to be a model project. A boiler makes steam by the heat generated by burning methane. The steam will then be used rotating a turbine to generate electricity, and if it replaces grid power, then it could reduce consumption of electricity from burning fossil fuel, the source of carbon dioxide. This is the process that could make a project. The model project should contribute to the sustainable development for the partner country. We review projects as they contribute to sustainable development goals. JCM model project reduces greenhouse gas emission, so basically work and good for SDGs and contribute to sustainable society. This is an example as possible contribution of renewable energy project to SDGs for your reference. One of the main purpose of JCM is to issuing JCM credit. For the credit, first thing you do after implementing equipment is the action of MRV or measurement, reporting, and verification. This shows the procedures we should follow for the issuance of JCM credit. We GEC also support this MRV process for participants. This is a table of applied technologies for each partner country. We revised this adding latest or last year's new technologies. Based on the number of projects on this table, maximum financial support is limited. If proposed technology is the first one, the maximum financial support is 50% of total cost of a project. They are blank cells in this chart. Then rate goes down to 40% and 30% by the number of already applied technologies for each country. This is because the first one has the greatest impact in terms of diffusion of technology as it is newly introduced, then the second and the third. This is a criterion of cost effectiveness, that is financial support versus amount of greenhouse gas emission reduction. We set this value less than 4,000 yen or about 31 US dollar. This acts as a ceiling of the budget for some project. Recently, there is a lot of proposals for certain technologies in some countries. If the number of applied technologies reaches 5 in a country, this value decreases to about 3,000 yen. And if the number exceeds 10, it diminishes to about 2,500 yen. And hydropower project in Indonesia is for this. And also, if the number reaches 20, the maximum value would be 2,000 yen. This year, we added a guideline of the criterion for specific technologies of solar power and hydropower projects. We set the value of them to 2,500 and 500 yen respectively to set suitable value based on type of technologies. We consider this criterion as important because we should dispatch limited budget effectively to as many projects as possible. We improve this scheme of JCM model project every year to accept variety of projects in many fields and business areas. JCM Eco-Lease scheme is one of this approach introduced in 2020, which is dedicated for leasing business to use this financial support conveniently. And the uniform finance support of 10% of project cost, which is lower than the general project. The merit of this shorter obligation period, this scheme is that a shorter obligation period of monitoring and simple documentation to apply easily. Again, we improve this scheme to create more opportunities for many business partners to join. And then let me explain about a newly added criterion, that is business and human right. This is listed in evaluation criteria of eligibility number 13, introduced on sheet number 13. We are expecting the representative participant as well as partner participant to take the best possible measures to respect human rights, such as introducing human rights due diligence process, to have enough dialogue with stakeholders and have responsible in the supply chain of the procurement or introduction of appropriate product. For details, there is a booklet issued by Ministry of Foreign Affairs Japan of this URL. GC is promoting paperless action and digital transformation. This year, we introduced a new system that enables applicants to apply electronically via the internet. IT solutions contribute to make our work effectively or efficiently. And we hope the system enables participants to apply more easily and more conveniently. We will further improve the system and continue to make it more user-friendly. The second agenda. From here, I will introduce the result of the selection of JCM financing model project this year, which is still ongoing, and last year's selection. In this tough situation of COVID-19, we are accepting many excellent projects. These are the projects for the first selection of this year. Project entity with the red characters are newly selected representative participants. It is important to have a lot of participants for further expansion of JCM model project, so they are very welcome. I will explain a project selected in Indonesia by next slide. This project reduces energy consumption and emission of green carbon dioxide by installing natural gas-fired high-efficiency one-through boilers in the factory where coal-fired boilers mainly have been used. One-through boiler could save energy greatly for its energy efficiency of almost 100%, and operating system for boilers could control appropriate number of machines due to varying demand. This type of boiler is now popular in Japan, and we hope this project contributes to the diffusion of the technology in Indonesia. This and the next slide show the selection of last year project in 2021. Indonesia has 5 selected projects last year. I'll explain this project from next slide. This is the first one. The project is a solar power system organized by Sumitomo Forestry Corporation as their first JCM model project. They are forestry company and conducting environment-friendly activities, and this is one of their actions. 3.3 megawatt solar power system will be installed on the rooftop of factory to generate renewable energy consumed in the factory. This is the guideline for solar power module. This kind of project is very popular in JCM model project. It counts the highest number among variety of proposed technologies. We welcome this renewable energy project as a good energy source replacing fossil fuel. On the other hand, we need to confirm that the proposed technology is advanced one. So we set the condition for photovoltaic module of its conversion rate from optical to electric energy to 20% or higher. Although a lot of solar power project has been selected, there is still room to increase total performance of those systems. One potential idea is to employ battery or accumulator in the system. In the JCM model project, so far only 2 projects were selected, one of which is in Indonesia. We would like to promote this category by making conditions clear for participants applying this technology. These are the points we require for this technology. This project is organized by Fumakira, who is one of famous insecticide or repellent manufacturer. They are doing good business in Indonesia. It is important for us all to be protected from infectious disease such as dengue, malaria. So their products are essential for efficiently keeping away mosquitoes and other insects. To produce their main product of mosquito coil or repellent, high and stable temperature is required for production, and this oil heater works well. The system is installed in their branch factory near Jakarta and already started their operation. This is 6 megawatt mini hydropower project by in Basay River, Lampang province, organized by a Japanese branch company of WWS, who is one of major hydro turbine manufacturer in Austria. The project provides renewable energy and contribute to the reduction of greenhouse gas emission by installing 2 units 3x2 of run-of-river type hydro power system. This is also a project by WWS of 2.3 megawatt mini hydropower in Meresom River, Lampang province. This project contributes to the achievement of Indonesia's national energy policy target of increasing the share of renewable energy to at least 33% by year 2025. These two projects also could create jobs in the area and enables them to operate the system by themselves in the future. This is the second project of Otsuka Pharmaceutical Factory Incorporated for their infusion manufacturing factory. First one was selected in 2018 and already started the operation. This will save energy by introducing new type of high efficiency autoclave. Hot water injected into the autoclave is maintained at a high temperature by heat exchanger, and adequate amount of steam is supplied to realize reduction of natural gas. And also, hot water used in the sterilization process is reused so that the amount of the water is greatly saved. Now we move on to the project trend of JCM model project. This chart shows an accumulated number of projects by sector of energy saving, blue one, renewable energy, orange one, and others for all of the model projects. By pie chart on the top, you can see that energy saving and renewable energies sectors dominate. As a recent trend, number of renewable energy projects has been increasing, and it adds up to 100. In this renewable energy sector, photovoltaic system count most of 74 projects, which constantly proposed from early stage of the model project. The second count is mini hydro system, then biopower generation system. In this sector, there are wind power system and geothermal power generation system. The renewable energy project tend to contribute for mass reduction of carbon dioxide, and we anticipate to have more proposals and welcome to add variation in this field. This chart shows all energy saving projects proposed till now. There is a lot kind of technologies selected for JCM model project. Most utility equipment are covered by technology proposed for the JCM model project. They are boiler, chiller, transformer, pump, air compressor, inverter, and so on. Also, it has air conditioning system and the controller. Also, LED lighting system for building. As for production line in factories, injection mold machine, mold plastic, aeration system for sewage, alcohol, autoclave, rooming machines, and there is a lot has been selected. The important point of this category is that they are effective in the industrial field and useful for factories. These products save energy effectively by minimizing the usage of power or heat and reduce energy cost. That is important and fascinating for management of factories or plant also. Then let's move on to the project trend in Indonesia. This is a summary sheet for Asian Pacific region. This area has 169 model projects, that is 90% of the project in all partner countries. The pie chart shows renewable energy and energy efficiency sectors dominate the number, also in Asia Pacific area. This is a trend chart by sector. You can see the renewable energy has been adding their project where mini hydro and biomass systems started to add their number since 2016. And energy saving technologies are selected constantly. This is a trend by sector in Indonesia. Renewable energy project, orange color, has been increasing. Many energy efficient projects are selected from the beginning of the JCM and have constantly proposed. We also expect proposals in other sector of waste to energy and more projects for energy efficiency improvement and transportation. We continue to support to create new projects in Indonesia. This is all the technology selected in Indonesia till last year. Small hydropower plant count 10 projects. 4 solar power plant and chiller project, 3 boiler, 2 gas cogeneration system, and biomass power plant to generate energy. There are other technologies like absorption tiller, looming machine, autoclave, heat pump, injection molding machine. They have been introduced for industrial field. We have selected and add new project, so technology is getting diversified year by year, and this demonstrates that the JCM model project can be useful for a variety of fields. Conclusion of my presentation. In many areas, the technology of model project has been applied. Lighting in retail store, solar power system on shopping mall, heat pump in hotel, and variety production equipment in factories in industrial field. We have already introduced many systems for utility field, the solar power system on reservoir, methane gas recovery system, rice husk power generation system, waste to power generation, and in the transportation area also. As you can see with these pictures, JCM model project is effective for international promotion of infrastructures. So you have a lot of opportunity to make use of this model project to accelerate and reinforce infrastructure in Indonesia. This shows representative participants for the JCM model project. There are many Japanese companies taking part in this scheme and cooperate to proceed reduction of greenhouse gas emission in partner countries. Their business vary in many fields such as wholesale, retail, food, chemical, textile, electric, automobiles, transportation, consultation power, construction, and finance, and other services. In this figure, there are many companies. Some of them you may already heard of their name. It is important to have a lot of participants for further expansion of the project. So we continue to make effort to add more companies to join and create more projects to promote action for reduction of greenhouse gas emission in Indonesia. COVID-19 has been imposing trying time to people in Japan, people in Indonesia, and everyone around the world. The JCM model project also have been affected by this pandemic. However, project participants try hard to complete their project on time, even in this pandemic. They modify project plan flexibly and recover unexpected event or minimize schedule delay. We have we have to support participants toward completion of their project successfully. It is true that COVID-19 limits us to some extent. However, we keep our activity going by these alternative or recovering ways, not to deter action of greenhouse gas emission reduction for our precious environment. It is important that, I can say that it is reported that yesterday, newly infected people in Japan was 127,000 and 22,400 in Tokyo. We are still suffering. However, we hope the sun will rise. We eager to visit Indonesia again for site inspection or occasion like this seminar. Hopefully, I can meet you all directly in Indonesia for the seminar next time. We are waiting many applications of Indonesian project. I'm happy if my presentation helps your better understanding of JCM model project. Thank you for patience. Terima kasih.